Hello guys, welcome back to 1878 Blues. This is the match preview for West Ham United v Everton at the London Stadium. Um, Hoping I got the name of the stadium right because I actually don't know what it's called, but I'm presuming it's called that. I think I've seen it in the past. Um, yeah, every game's big for Everton these days, but and not in a good way. But yeah, it's going to be an emotional start to the game, as obviously we all know that Bill Kenwright passed away a few days ago, and obviously Bobby Charlton passed away recently as well. And yeah, it's I put a tweet out on the day Bill Kenwright passed. I just couldn't believe um, when I when I remembered that our next games against West Ham, and you know, taking the manager in charge for them is David Moyes, and it's fitting that our next game since his passing will be obviously against David Moyes, and it's a it's a moment that he can share with us. Um, West Ham can share with us. The world can share with us that you know a blue all of his life, helped the club. Um, Despite what people and myself have been saying the past few years, we can't deny that he did his best for the club. Um, and you can't do anything more than that. So it's gonna be emotional at the start of the game. And yeah, it's a as Bill Kenwright would know, it's another big game for us, and um, it's a must win. With all the speculation as well going around, and I haven't done a video on it because it's not just paper rumours. It's on the news now. Sky Sports and Sky News and other various of broadcasters of and media outlets and stuff have um, brought to our attention that Everton could be getting a 12-point deduction from what the Premier League are trying to sue us basically for that. Yeah, bit of a nerve wracking wait to find out if that's going to be true, because if that is, and a lot of people saying the Man City charges as well, it's unfair and all this kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, when that decision's be made by the commissioner, then what do we do from there? And me hyping myself up for this game is harder than usual, knowing that that could be our future in the next few months, few weeks, next year. I don't know. Um, it wouldn't be as bothering. Like, I would still be bothered if we was fighting for the top half of the table, or just in the top 10 at least. Because nothing would really. It still worry you. It still would worry you. Obviously, it would decrease the ambition of the players in a sense, because you're working for points that you won't be getting rewarded for in a sense. Um, and obviously it could, depends when it happens, it could turn a club upside down, and they could end up being a relegation fight. The league can be tight and around the middle of the table and stuff. But yeah, it's really hard for me to really be up for this game, knowing that's in the background, and every Evertonian as myself knew this was gonna something was gonna come from this situation. Um, it's went out right. It's went out my head of what we're actually getting charged for, but it's yeah. You all know anyway. If you don't, then just type it in Google or something, because I can't remember at the top of my head. My head's just went empty, and I'm not doing this video again. Because I've tried to do this video about 3 or 4 times. I kept messing up. So, um, yeah, it's a sticky one, and like I said, for me, and many other Evertonians, I can imagine it's pretty tough now to get up for the game, because if that does happen, then it really puts us in a dire position. A position of, I'm not gonna lie, I won't have much hope of us getting out of. 12 points is massive, and definitely massive when it comes to, when it's in terms of fighting for relegation. It just gives you no chance. Um, that's annoying as well, because I have better belief in this squad than I have done. I've had better belief in this squad than many squads we've had in the past few years. Like, well, the past few seasons, let's say, because we've better prior to these past couple of seasons. But um, yeah, it's just annoying, because I feel like we've took step by step to gradually improve the squad, the club, the way it's ran, made some changes in board level, and this would just absolutely destroy us, and especially with the stadium as well. It's just a bit, the anxiety, everything's gone up. Um, but, it's not, as Sean Dyche said in his press conference, it's not confirmed yet. Um, and Everton will be working tremendously hard to make sure that doesn't happen. I heard Simon Jordan as well on TalkSport saying there's no chance. He doesn't think there's going to be. There's just it's just not going to happen. The 12 points. There's people joking about with the legal system in this country, where if you normally get sentenced for something with 12 years, it gets reduced to half. So it feels like this with points. Um, yeah, yeah, it's going to be in the it's going to be in my mind for a number of weeks and months. I'll try and, as other Everton, just keep it out of our heads and just focus on the football, and that's what Sean Dyche is there to do. It's out of his control, but it will plant something in your head of concern. Um, but the game in itself, all we have to do, if we want to get out of a situation, if that's going to happen, then we're going to have to win our games, haven't we? We're going to have to really uh, turn it on. Make sure we don't get ourselves in a sticky situation like that. Improve massively, in a sense, in terms of league position and points and whatnot. We need to start cracking on and winning games, regardless, even if this points wasn't happening, or potentially happening. It's a big game against West Ham. West Ham are a very good team. I think they've won 4, drew 4, lost 2, or won 4, drew 2, lost 4, something like that. They've had a decent start of the season. They're currently in 8th place. They've in a puddle recently in terms of results. The 2-2 against Newcastle home isn't too bad. It feels weird still saying that Newcastle are a club now that you should be happy getting a point at home against, but um, a decent result, not the worst. And then they go and lose 4-1 to Aston Villa. We know how that feels. Well, worse because it was 4-0, but yeah, Aston Villa in great form. But, I expected a tighter game, a tighter result. It wasn't the case. I'm not going to sit here and say I watched the game. I didn't. Just seen the highlights. But, yeah. And then they have a disappointing result against Olympiacos away from home. And, Olympiacos plays in European football every season nearly. I know because of the league they're in, but they've always established themselves as a very decent European side, and it's no shame to lose against them. But yeah, it does, it does make them, I'm assuming now, more hungry to get a win under their belts, to stop this mini rot, if you could call it. And that's what I always worry about, playing against teams. If they've been losing games, then here comes Everton, and they'll turn it on against us. But you could say as an Evertonian, doesn't matter what team's in form and how many players they got injured, we do normally end up on the bad side and lose a game or drop points or whatnot. But I'm gonna have more hope for the squad. Away from home, we've been promising. Um, you know, we've just played better away from home. It's suited to our style, our players, our tactics, our formation. It just everything suits us playing away from home. Sitting back and counter attack. And now, obviously, that did not work against Liverpool. But I would have been very intrigued to see if Michael Bean, Mr. Bean, Michael Keane didn't stretch his arm out that he wanted to get the 79 bus home. You know, more I've looked at it now, it's like, right, there's a natural running position, but it's just so weird that he kept his arm out that long, and like, I don't know, I don't get it. And you'd think as well, just because of the nature of the rules in today's game, you've got to pull your arm back at some point there. Like the cross is coming in, Diaz is going to chip it in, or he's going to go past it, maybe go past a few players, but most likely he'll chip it, chip the ball in, and you've just got to get your hand out the way, haven't you, or at least have it further down and that, and give it a chance of not, having it not getting called a penalty. Um, but at the end of the day, you can't look in the future, can you? Could have still lost that game, could have won the game, anything could have happened. But from what I've seen in them 70, 73 minutes or something, is promising again away from home. Despite not attacking as I hoped we would because of the the red card situation, which teams like us will struggle against. Top teams won't as much. They'll still have a hold of the game because of the quality of players they got. We don't. Um, yeah, away from home against Liverpool is near impossible. But before that, a great home win against Bournemouth, which is a refreshing win at home, a first win at home, first goals at home. Um, yeah, refreshing to. I don't know, first goal at home. Luton was against Luton, but first win at home. It's refreshing to get a win on the board at home. Takes the pressure off playing away from home because kind of swings with our Everton. If home form's not going great, then the pressure goes on to the away games. It's not like we want to rectify both of them. And it hasn't felt that way at home. And luckily, happily we got the win. Even though Bournemouth to me was shocking. And yeah, another away game on the bounce, which weirdly enough for me to say, I'm not complaining too much about, despite West Ham are a very good team and should be playing us off the park and should be winning this game of football. But they've got fantastic players, and our squad still that is gelling. David Moyes, we know what he's like as an Evertonian. Sorry, we know what he's like as an Evertonian. He's hard to beat. He focus demands a defensive kind of display from his team, but also very threatening attacking wise, and that's what you want. As a manager, you want all of them. Um, it's kind of obvious that you'd want your team to be like that, um, but he does it well. Does it to a very good standard. Gets the best out of his players, I feel. Um, he's not scared to give youth a chance as well. Um, but yeah, obviously the players that we should be watching out for is Bowen, who I think scored a few goals against Everton in his career. Paqueta, who's obviously a diamond in midfield, and obviously Man City massively still interested in him. Scored against Olympiacos as well. Didn't actually watch the highlights of that game, but I can assume it's a good goal. Um, Mohamed Kudus, who we should have got, which is very frustrating. It's one of them games you think, is he going to score against us? And it'll frustrate us. You got the ever presence of Antonio on top as well. Just it's going to be a tough afternoon for us. I've seen many other predictions that people think it's going to be a comfortable win for West Ham, and that could be the case. But we need to make it uncomfortable for them. A loss won't be great with all the stories surrounding us at the moment, and just in general. But at the same time, it'd be really good to see a promising display again. But at some point, you're gonna need to start picking up more points or consistently picking up points. Can't be winning, losing, drawing, winning, losing. I mean, that's the nature of where we're at the moment. But I think these type of games, we still we should give ourselves a chance. You know, we performed very well away from home this season, as I mentioned before. Big wins against Brentford, Aston Villa, couple of draws and that. So, yeah, you know, I think we should set up the same. Ashley Young is obviously out. Dyche has gave us the news that Coleman is returning, but I don't think he'll be for this game. Maybe on the bench, you never know. But there'll be a start for Patterson and Mikalenko. Mikalenko's been great recently. Expected Branthwaite, Tarkowski again, Pickford, and then a Jusagana Gay, because Jusagana Gay for me away from home is way better than him at home. He does what he does best away from home, and that's when we are mostly defensive but playing a counter attack. And I think that role suits Jusagana Gay the best. And on and again, who's progressively getting better. Decore, I'll have to drop James Garner for this one. I'm not going to lie, I think we have to drop him for this one. I don't think his performance against Liverpool was... I just thought he was getting beat to every ball. I don't think he had any emphasis on the game. And listen, it's going to come from Garner. It's not going to be fantastic all the time or very good. It's going to be an up and down road for him. You know what I mean? It's at the same time we've got to pick a squad that suits what we're going to want to do against West Ham, and I don't think James Garner will be that right fit. McNeil, even though I don't think he did too much against Liverpool, but didn't get enough of the chance in a sense because he got took off at half time. And you got an argument for Danjuma or Harrison. I really wouldn't know for that one, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. We've got decent defence, West Ham. We've got good midfielders, Alvarez. The defence is relatively good. The wing backs are really good. You know, it's whatever. I think you pick Harrison just because of the counter attack and maybe Danjuma for the counter attack, to be honest. But then again, Danjuma's more of a one-touch pass type of player. Likes to cut in, likes to go beat a man as well. Not known for his crossing. Maybe you might want Harrison just for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who will definitely be starting this game. And yeah, that's my lineup. And then my prediction, I've said on Super 6, I'm going to say 2-2. I think we'll get a point out of this and a couple of goals, but I don't think we'll be able to keep out some of West Ham's talents. So, yeah, I think a draw, but to me, it's that or West Ham. I can't see us win this game, but you just never know. You never know. Yeah, you don't know. It's the Premier League, innit? Craziest league of all. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all soon.